You ever notice how they keep telling you, owning a home is the American dream? That's what they tell you. The dream. You buy a house, you finally own something, you plant a little flag on the dirt, put a white picket fence around it, and boom, you're a success. But here's the punchline. You don't own a goddamn thing. You think you do, but try missing a couple of payments and see how fast the people who really own it show up with papers and badges to remind you it was never yours to begin with. That's the game. They let you think you're a big-shot landowner when you're really just paying rent to the bank, the government, and every other parasite who attach themselves to your little piece of the dream. You ever stop and think about that? You work 40 years, save every nickel, sacrifice vacations, buy used cars, and finally scrape enough together for a down payment on this magical dream property. And you sign a stack of papers so thick it could choke an elephant, half of which you'll never read. The other half you couldn't understand if you tried. And when the ink dries, you're smiling like you just got knighted by the Queen, because someone told you, "Congratulations, you're a homeowner." Bullshit, you're not a homeowner. You're a tenant with a long-term payment plan. You don't own the house owns you. And the land. Forget it, you think you own that patch of dirt your house is sitting on. Try skipping property taxes for a year, just 1 year. Suddenly, men with guns and clipboards will be explaining to you how your family investment is being auctioned off to the highest bidder on Tuesday. That's right, the government is basically your landlord in a suit. Every year you gotta pay them protection money to keep living in the place you already have bought. And if you don't pay, well, they're very efficient at reminding you whose dirt it really is. Ownership. You're renting from the king, folks. They just don't call him a king anymore. They upgraded the title to a county tax assessor. Makes it sound democratic. And then there's the bank. Oh, the bank, the friendly little institution that helps you achieve your dream. What a joke. They hand you money they don't even have, charge you interest for the privilege, and call it a loan. You're basically shackled to them for 3 decades. 30 years. That's a life sentence in financial prison. If you're lucky, by the time you're done paying it off, you're old, wrinkled, and too arthritic to climb the stairs in your own house. Then you die. And guess what? They sell the house again to the next sucker. It's like a carnival game where nobody ever wins except the guy who owns the booth. Let's talk about the illusion of control. You think it's your castle, right? Your fortress, your rules. Wrong. You can't even put up a fence without asking permission from the zoning board. Can't paint your door purple if some homeowners association gets twitchy about our community standards. Some people even have to get approval to plant a tree. Imagine that you need permission to stick something in the ground on your own land. That's not ownership. That's babysitting for the state. And the way they sell it to you is genius. They tell you, I buy a home, it's an investment. Investment. The only investment where you pay and pay and pay, and then when it's time to sell, half the money goes to real estate agent inspectors, appraisers, lawyers, and anybody else who figured out how to stick their hand in your closing costs. By the time you're done, you're lucky if you walk away with enough for a sandwich and a used lawnmower. But, hey, you're an owner. That's the lie they feed you, so you keep smiling while they pick your pockets. And don't even get me started on insurance. Oh, you thought you were safe because you owned it? Not so fast. You gotta pay insurance companies every year, just in case your dream catches fire, floats away in a flood, or some drunk neighbor backs his truck through your living room wall. And if disaster actually strikes, what happens? They send some guy with a clipboard to tell you, well, technically we don't cover that kind of disaster. Sorry, you're screwed. Thanks for the premiums, though. Enjoy your ashes. It's all a big scam wrapped in a bow, cultural hypnosis. They drill it into your head from birth to buy a home. Own your land. That's success. But all it really means is you're on the hook to keep feeding the machine. Banks, governments, associations, insurance companies, utility companies, everybody gets their cut before you even finish breakfast. And you're standing there in the kitchen thinking, this is mine. I own this. Sure you do. Just don't forget to pay every single one of those people on time every year forever, or they'll remind you real quick who actually runs the show. And here's the kicker. You're not even allowed to just live on land without playing their game. Try it. Try pitching a tent on our land and saying, I live here now, no house, no mortgage, no bills. I'd still call it illegal camping and toss you out. So apparently you can buy land, but you can't just use it the way you want. You gotta build something on it, pay for permits, follow codes, keep it up to standards. That's not ownership. That's not ownership. That's leasing with extra paperwork, and all the while people keep parroting this nonsense like it's gospel. Oh, I own a home. No, you own a glorified receipt, and even that's conditional. The government owns the land, the bank owns the house until you're nearly dead, and the insurance company owns your peace of mind. What's left for you? A pile of debt, a stack of bills, and a lawn you gotta mow every goddamn week. Congratulations, you're living the dream. So next time someone brags about owning their home, just remember, what they really own is a 30-year agreement to keep feeding the system. The dream they sold you? It's not freedom. It's a mortgage-shaped leash around your neck, and you're supposed to smile while they drag you around the yard. Because the truth is, you don't own the land, you don't own the house, and you sure as hell don't own the dream. The dream owns you. You ever notice how they keep telling you that real estate is valuable? Like it's some sacred treasure. They make it sound like every square inch of dirt in the country is a piece of gold dipped in chocolate, wrapped in diamonds, guarded by angels. This land is worth so much. Oh, it's dirt. It's the same dirt it was last year. The same dirt it was 50 years ago. The same dirt it'll be 1,000 years from now. Dirt doesn't appreciate. Dirt doesn't suddenly get smarter. Dirt doesn't start a side hustle. Dirt doesn't join a gym and come back with six-pack abs. Dirt just sits there. No, just sits there. But every year, some guy in a suit waves a clipboard and says, "This dirt is now worth double." And everybody nods like he just discovered fire. And that's the scam, isn't it? They convince you that dirt has a personality. One year it's a regular dirt, the next year it's a prime dirt. Like it got a promotion. You're paying extra for the privilege of standing on the exact same patch of earth, but now it comes with an attitude. Ooh, you didn't know? This is luxury dirt. It's near Starbucks. That means it's special. Starbucks shows up, suddenly the dirt went to Harvard. Your mortgage just got a PhD in bullshit. And the language they use is genius. They don't say a dirt went up. They say the market appreciates. Appreciate. Who's appreciating? I don't see the dirt sending thank you notes. Dear buyer, thank you for recognizing my newfound value. Sign the backyard. Appreciate means somebody made up a number and everyone agreed to pretend it's real. It's like a group hallucination. Everybody takes the same drug, stares at the same dirt, and goes, yeah, that looks more expensive. That's not economics. That's improv theater. And you'll notice the dirt never improves. The dirt doesn't get safer. The dirt doesn't get more fertile. If anything, half the time the neighborhood gets worse. Crime goes up, schools go down, traffic's a nightmare. But the price still goes up. You're paying more money for a crappier life. Imagine going to a restaurant and every time you go back the food gets worse, the service slower, the table's dirtier, but the bill doubles. And people brag about it. Oh yeah, last year this burger was $10, now it's $30. Great investment. No, you're just an idiot with ketchup on your face. And the way they spin it, they make you feel like you're the crazy one if you question it. You don't understand. Property values are rising. Rising? Rising based on what? Did they sprinkle magic beans in the soil? Did God personally bless the foundation? No, they built a Whole Foods down the street and suddenly your rent's 3 times higher. It's not real value, it's imaginary, it's monopoly money. But as long as the suits keep printing reports and the TV keeps saying the market's hot, everyone goes along with it. You want to know how fake it is? Look at bubble markets. One year the same houses are worth $500,000. The next year it's worth $300,000. Did the bricks evaporate? Did the plumbing dissolve? No, it's the same damn house. But the magic number fairy came by and said, oops, not worth as much anymore. So the number changes, your taxes change, your payments don't change, and you're sitting there wondering why you just got poorer without doing anything. That's not a market, that's a rigged carnival game. You throw the ring, it bounces off the bottle. The guy shrugs and says, sorry, not this year. Oh, I see. And they sell you the illusion that you're lucky to even get in on it. Buy now, prices are only going up. It's always going up. It's been going up since they invented the phrase. They said the same thing in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. Every decade, same line. Well, buy now before it's too late. Too late for what? Too late to get ripped off. Too late to sign your life away for triple what it's worth. The urgency is part of the trick. If they told you the truth, that value is arbitrary, numbers are made up, and half the people cashing in are just flipping illusions, you'd never touch it. But they pump you with fear. Hurry, 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 only a few left, like they're selling hot dogs at a ball game. Oh, get your overpriced mortgage right here, only a few dream homes left. And think about this, if property really had intrinsic value, why would neighborhoods rise and fall depending on what stores move in? A Walmart shows up, values plummet. A Trader Joe's shows up, values skyrocket. So what's valuable, the land of the kale chips? Apparently, kale is worth $100 grand on your mortgage. Forget the American dream, this is the American produce aisle. You're not investing in a home, you're investing in grocery stores. But the banks love it. Oh, they love it. The higher the imaginary value, the more they can lend you, the more interest they can collect, the more debt they can sell. It's a pyramid made of spreadsheets. They take your house, put a made-up price on it, chop the loan into pieces, sell it to investors, and everyone takes a cut. And everyone takes a cut. Meanwhile, you're the only one who has to actually live there and mow the lawn. The people making money never touch the dirt. They're too busy buying yachts with the profits from your inflated mortgage. And let's not forget the appraisers. These guys are professional dirt whisperers. They come in, walk around your house, look serious, maybe poke a wall and then pull a number out of thin air. This house is worth $500,000. How do you know? We compared it to 3 other houses nearby. Oh, so it's copycat economics. Monkey see, monkey say it's worth more. That's your scientific method? You're just gossiping with numbers. Oh, the house down the street went for $500,000, so yours is too. That's not appraisal. That's neighborhood peer pressure. And people lap it up. They brag. My house went up in value. No, it didn't. It's the same damn house. You didn't paint it. You didn't fix it. You didn't add a room. You just sat on it while men in suits played with charts. And now you think you're a genius. You didn't earn that money. You just got lucky enough to be standing on the right dirt when the monopoly board tilted. And don't worry. When it tilts the other way, you'll still be paying the same mortgage. You'll be bragging one year and crying the next. But hey, it's all part of the market. And that's the beauty of the scam. They've convinced everybody to worship the numbers. Nobody questions them. A man in a tie says, "This is valuable." And people bow down like he's Moses coming down from the mountain. No tablets, just a Zillow estimate. And people rearrange their lives around it. Move here, don't move there. Pay more, pay less. All because somebody invented a number. Nobody remembers that dirt is dirt. Nobody remembers that land is just land. They turn the ground under your feet into a stock ticker. And you're the sucker trading your life for imaginary profit. Because the truth is, the house doesn't make you rich. The market doesn't make you rich. The only people who get rich are the ones convincing you that imaginary dirt is worth real money. So when they tell you prices are up, what they really mean is the scam is working. You ever notice the whole housing game is basically a pyramid scheme with shingles? That's all it is. A bunch of people stacked on top of each other, everyone paying the guy above them, while the guy at the very top sits on his ass collecting checks for doing absolutely nothing. Renters at the bottom, homeowners clawing their way through mortgages in the middle, and landlords sitting pretty on top like they invented breathing. It's the oldest scam in the book. Shelter. Everyone needs it. You can't just opt out of shelter. You can opt out of cable, you can opt out of Starbucks, but try opting out of shelter. Go ahead, sleep outside in January, see how that works out. They've got you by the throat, and they know it. That's why they can charge whatever they want. You pay or freeze to death. That's not business, that's extortion with better marketing. And at the bottom, you got renters. Poor bastards. Renting is like lighting your money on fire every month and then thanking the guy who handed you the match. You work, you pay, you sweat, and at the end of the year, what do you own? Nothing, not even the cockroaches. Those belong to the landlord, too. Renters are just financing someone else's dream while living their own nightmare. And landlords love to tell renters, well, you're just throwing your money away. Oh, really? And what are you doing, landlord? You're throwing someone else's money into your pocket. At least the renter gets a roof and some leaky plumbing. The landlord gets interest-free cash delivered every month without lifting a finger. Who's the real genius here? And then in the middle, you've got the homeowners. Oh, they think they're special. We're not renting, we're building equity. Equity, that magical word people use to justify spending 30 years on the world's longest payment plan. Homeowners are just renters with longer contracts. You still pay every month, you still get kicked out if you stop paying, and you still don't really own the place until decades later. The only difference is when the sink explodes or the roof caves in, you don't get to call the landlord. Congratulations, you are the landlord now. Pay up. Suddenly, the dream home feels like a money pit with a mailbox, and then there's the landlords themselves. The landlords are the best. These people figured out how to get rich without working. They don't make anything, they don't build anything, they don't invent anything. They just sit there owning stuff. That's it. Their job is a having. That's the whole resume. What do you do for a living? I own things. I exist while other people pay me. That's not a job. That's a position in the food chain. That's being a tick on society's back. And they love to act like they're doing you a favor. I'm providing housing. No, you're not. The house was already there. The builder provided housing. The landlord just showed up afterward like a raccoon digging through garbage. Oh, look, I'll take this one and that one. One, and now you all owe me money forever. And you ever notice landlords always have the same excuses? Oh, being a landlord is so hard. The tenants are always calling me. Things break, it's such a burden. Bullshit. You fix a toilet twice a year and cash checks the other 363 days. Don't act like you're a coal miner. Don't act like you're storming Normandy. You're a guy who owns a key. That's it. You bought a box, you hand out keys to other people, and then they pay you for the privilege of existing inside your box. That's the whole business plan. The pyramid scheme of boxes. And the pyramid keeps itself alive because everyone's trying to climb it. Renters want to become homeowners. Homeowners dream of becoming landlords. And landlords want to become developers. Everybody's stepping on the head of the guy below them, hoping to get high enough that someone else has to pay them. It's not about shelter anymore, it's about leverage. Shelter is just the excuse. The real game is how many people can you trick into paying you while you sit back eating nachos in your second house. And renters are stuck forever. They tell you renting is temporary, but for a lot of people it's permanent. Because the rents keep going up. Always up, never down. You ever hear of rent going down? Never. Even if the building is falling apart, even if the neighborhood looks like a war zone, the rent goes up. Why? Because they can. That's it. No reason, just because. Try telling your landlord, well, my salary didn't go up, so I'm paying less this month. See how fast you're out on the street. Rent is the only product in the world where the worse it gets, the more it costs. Your roof leaks, the pipes rattle, the neighbor is running a meth lab, but congratulations, your rent just went up $200. Enjoy your new amenities. And homeowners in the middle, they're no better off. They brag about owning something, but really they're paying rent to the bank and taxes to the government. They're like renters with more paperwork. And if they miss a payment, the bank swoops in, takes the house, and sells it to the next sucker. And sucker. Homeowners are just temporary tenants who mow their own lawns. And they tell themselves they're different from renters. You are investing. No, you're not. You're just renting from the bank with a fancier title. And the landlords at the top, they're the casino owners. They don't gamble, they don't play. They just sit back while everyone else feeds quarters into the machine. They own buildings they'll never live in. Neighborhoods they don't visit, cities they don't care about. All they care about is the cash. They've got armies of renters below them, all paying tribute every month like peasants tossing coins to the king. And if the peasants complain, the king shrugs, pay up or move out. That's the whole philosophy. And the system rewards it. The more you own, the more you can own. Banks line up to hand landlords money because they know renters will keep paying. The government gives them tax breaks. Tax breaks! You're already rich. You're already charging people to exist. And now the government says, here's some free candy. Meanwhile, the renter can't even deduct their rent. They just pay and pay and pay with nothing to show for it, while the landlord gets richer for simply being there. And then they have the nerve to say, well, I took the risk. Risk? What risk? The tenant takes the risk. They risk eviction. They risk homelessness. They risk having their life turned upside down if they miss a payment. You? You risk getting a smaller check? Oh, poor baby, let me play you a sad song on the world's smallest violin while you swim in a pool of rent money. And let's not forget the developers. The landlords evolve into developers like Pokemon. Suddenly, they're not just owning houses, they're building entire blocks. Luxury towers, overpriced condos. And they always build the same thing. Boxes stacked on boxes, wrapped in glass with a yoga studio in the lobby. They call it a luxury living. Luxury? You're paying $3,000 a month to live in a shoebox with stainless steel appliances. Stainless steel doesn't make your life better. It just makes your credit card bill bigger. But people fall for it. Oh, look, honey, it has granite countertops. Yeah, great. Now you can't afford groceries to put on those countertops. And it's all a game of musical chairs. There are never enough seats, and the music never stops. Renters chase apartments, homeowners chase mortgages, landlords chase renters, developers chase investors. Everyone's running in circles, and the only constant is the money always flows upward.